Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kristen here with part 3 of Urban Legends in the US. And today I'm going to be going over Massachusetts through New Jersey. Massachusetts, Pukwudgies, in Freetown. They were often described in the Wampanoag tribe of Massachusetts as little gray porcupine-looking humanoid tricksters that lure people off of cliffs and near swampy areas in the sand. Before they turned mischievous, the Pukwudgies actually got along well with humans, until people decided to worship Moshop, who was a giant deity who created a landmass that we call Cape Cod today. The jealous Pukwudgies were said to have murdered this giant, and soon Moshop was not spoken in Wampanoag folklore after his death. So whatever you do, don't meddle in the existence of a Pukwudgie, or the unexpected may happen. Michigan, the Nain Rouge, in Detroit. Thought to be haunted by a small red hobgoblin who cursed Detroit itself. The fire of 1805, which almost engulfed the whole city in flames, the 1968 riots, and the 1976 ice storm was where he was allegedly seen. He also apparently appeared before the Battle of Bloody Run on July 30th, 1763, and after the deaths of about 60 British soldiers, the Nain Rouge danced around their corpses on the banks of the Detroit River, where the river supposedly turned blood red. There is a banishment parade that goes on yearly to hopefully get rid of him for good. A little-known fact though, the Detroit Beer Company actually used the Nain Rouge's imagery for their Detroit Dwarf Lager. Minnesota, the Wendigo, in Roseau. Popular sightings from the late 1800s to the 1920s. One of the oldest legends of Native American folklore. They are about 15 foot tall. Anyone who resorts to cannibalism or tastes human flesh becomes one through magic. And the settler's side of the story is that a Wendigo is kind of like a banshee that warns of a death in the surrounding area. There is one infamous Wendigo hunter that was a Cree Indian named Jack Fiddler. He was said to have killed 14 during his lifetime and was imprisoned for his last murder when he was 87. Law enforcement tried him for killing a Cree woman who was said to have been possessed by a Wendigo spirit. Mississippi, Mercuritis, throughout Mississippi. Occurred during the 1950s and originated from Europe. A horrible disease plagued a town and was soon completely covered up by the government and medical communities. When a man ingested too much lead, he would make a smell that was similar to a pheromone that would cause a hormonal reaction in the opposite sex, which led to hormonal fits and insanity, meaning women would purposefully destroy property to try and find men and turn homicidal towards them. Missouri, the Bubblehead family, in North County, near the Missouri River. Some say this family took experimental drugs and that caused their heads to deform into pumpkin-sized masses. Then some sort of government bought them and hid them in the woods near the Missouri River. Another story says that this family was haunted by this deformity from years of inbreeding, and they usually attacked trespassers. Now this sort of reminds me of the movie's Wrong Turn, except they didn't develop huge heads from inbreeding, but they were deformed. And they did brutally attack trespassers that walked on their land with multiple weapons and traps. Montana, Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake, near Great Falls. Located off of Highway 87 in Cascade County, an unknown Native American man is said to body slam into cars' windshields and scare drivers. He can also run lightning fast to catch up to cars. This man was supposedly killed by a car running over him, and every day he creates the same exact scene from when he died. No one to this day has been able to identify this man. Nebraska, radioactive hornets, all throughout Nebraska. After the Fukushima disaster, Nebraskans believe mutant hornets in the area grew 4 times their normal size and are flying rampant. These gigantic hornets were possibly sent over from the Fukushima radiation location, which is why they are in Nebraska. Their venom is said to be 2,000 times worse than regular hornets. There were reports of around 1,500 people in Asian countries that have died from these giant killer hornets. Maybe that is the reason why they were shipped to the States. Asia possibly didn't want to suffer anymore from these mutated hornets and sent them there. On some accounts, there is an actual real giant hornet that people are mistaken for being mutated. Nevada, the spiteful mermaid of Pyramid Lake in Reno. When a Paiute man fell in love with a mermaid, his tribe rejected her and forced him to throw her back in the lake. She then cursed the entire lake that brought the settlers and created a war. There was an actual war that took place when settlers moved near Pyramid Lake, and some of them were miners that took the Paiute natives' resources. The Pyramid Lake War occurred in 1860. The lake has been said to swallow the locals and spit them out near Lake Tahoe. New Hampshire, Eunice Goody Cole in Hampton. In 1656, Eunice was blamed for multiple local tragedies and was accused of witchcraft. One tragedy hinted that Goody Cole sunk a ship that killed about 8 Hampton residents. She was officially prosecuted in 1673. The patrons then staked her heart so she wouldn't bother them anymore. But due to many events that happened after her death, they still blame her. Eunice was buried in an unmarked grave in the town of Hampton and is believed to be close to today's Tuck Museum. She was said to be the first and only witch to be convicted in New Hampshire. New Jersey, Jersey Devil, said to reside in the Pine Barrens. There was a Native American witch who believed her 13th baby would be a demon. When he was born in 1735, at first he looked like a normal newborn, then all of a sudden grew a horn and spiked tail. His mother, Jane Leeds, was supposedly a witch, while his father was the devil himself. He is said to have a goat or horse-shaped head, with bat-like wings, small arms, and hoofs for feet. It can move very quickly and can create an uneasy and terrifying scream. Interesting fact, some people may or may not know this, but there is a hockey team named after this infamous urban legend in New Jersey. Alright, thank you guys for coming back and watching my part 3 of these urban legends. And since I'm in the middle of this series, I want to see what you guys would like to hear next after this mini-series. I'm probably going to put up a poll soon, or if you guys would like to comment what you would be interested in learning about, maybe something that is odd and mysterious like these urban legends. Also, after this mini-series, I am thinking of doing a few videos about the nostalgic 1990s, and I would love to hear what you guys think about that sort of thing. I know the 90s have been making a comeback recently, and I've just been so interested in the 90s, the decade when I was born. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!